Welcome to Cereal Talk. I'm your host, Linda Richman. First topic, grape nuts are neither grapes nor nuts. Talk amongst yourselves. JK, we are talking about cereal, but this is the Great Pop Culture Debates discussion on the best breakfast cereal ever. I'm your host, Eric Resniak, and trust me, Mr. Rabbit, my tricks are most definitely not for kids. Joining me are my panelists, and they're great. He puts the bend and snap into snap, crackle, and pop. Please welcome to the podcast, Dan Howell.
Hello. Is this a safe space? Because I think someone's after my Lucky Charms.
I can't promise you that. She's kid-tested and motherfucker approved. It's Kate Rakulia.
You know it.
And he likes it. Michael Schwartz really likes it.
You bet I'm magically delicious.
Before we pour ourselves into the debate, let's go over how this works. We put together a list of notable American breakfast cereals, both past and present. We had just shy of 200 options altogether, and nearly 70 people took the survey to pick their favorites. The top 32 vote getters were ranked by popularity, added to a bracket, and our panelists have made their decisions. Now we argue about it and insult each other, all for your amusement. Do you want to follow along at home? You can find all of the brackets, including the one for this episode, at greatpopculturedebate.com. Those seedings must have been pretty accurate because our panelists were largely unanimous in the round one debates. Among the uncontested winners automatically advancing to round two, we have 1-seed Cinnamon Toast Crunch, which put the Bam Bam on 8-seed Cocoa Pebbles. I need to pause for a second and point out that I cannot believe that Cocoa Pebbles was an 8-seed. That is madness. To me, it's like the best of the chocolate series, but whatever. This is why democracy doesn't work. 2-seed Apple Jacks cored its arguably healthier cousin, 7-seed Apple Cinnamon Cheerios. 4-seed Kellogg's Raisin Bran delivered 2 scoops of whoop-ass to 5-seed Cookie Crisp. 3-seed Fruity Pebbles shattered 6-seed Honeycomb's chances at the title. 1-seed Fruit Loops followed its nose to victory over 8-seed Frankenberry, which, another sidebar, Frank was the only one of the monster cereals to make the 32.
Travesty.
Justice for Boo-Berry. 3-seed Rice Krispies snapped the neck of 6-seed Cap'n Crunch Crunch Berries. 2-seed Frosted Mini Wheats further sank the Cap'n's fleet by taking out 7-seed Peanut Butter Cap'n Crunch. 1-seed Lucky Charms needed no 4-leaf clover to help oust 8-seed Rice Krispie treats, which is disgusting, by the way. And 2-seed Honey Nut Cheerios put the sting on 7-seed Cocoa Krispies. And now we move on to the actual debates. First, 3/4 of us were cuckoo for 5-seed Cocoa Puffs, but Kate was of a different mind over 2-sided 4-seed Crispix. Kate, go for it.
All right. So, how do I describe a Crispix to someone who's in it? What is it? It's Cocoa Puffs. Cocoa Puffs is who it's, yeah. It's like, it is literally like, here is a grain that when you eat it, your body will continue to build itself versus here is candy. which your body likes and also needs. But like I'm not going to like I don't want to yuck anyone's yum, literally when it comes to yummy cereals. But I am an old woman and I have been since the day I was born. So Crispix is, first of all, it's not a boring old square. It's not a boring old sphere. It's, what is it, a trapezoid? I don't understand. It's It's a
rhombus?
A hexagon?
It's a rhombus of deliciousness. And instead of like holes, it has those little slits. So it's nice and crunchy. It has staying power, the Crispix. And I know I'm going to lose this one, but Crispix, I see you and I love you.
It is a pretty cereal. Like, it is pretty to look at.
Yes.
And I feel like it had like some type of a coating on it that made it not get soggy.
Yes, it has a lovely, like when you put the Crispix in your mouth, you know you're eating only Crispix. No other cereal feels like that.
Well, I will say that it's, in my case, I did eat a lot of this as a kid, but it was Crispix and like 5 scoops of sugar to make it palatable. So it wasn't just Crispix in my mouth, it was cavities. in their raw, natural form. But go ahead, Michael, go ahead and explain why Cocoa Puffs.
Well, I think that we'll just discover for the rest of this episode that we've got going on that there's Kate at one end and there's me at the other end of this spectrum that we have going on here. Her 80-year-old skinny woman who is holding on to life's last breath by eating all of this cereal.
I'm not that skinny, Michael.
As opposed to me with my fat outer adult hugging my fat inner child. There is like, and Eric, you kind of hit it right on the head when you said this. I can't imagine putting a spoonful of Crispix in my mouth that doesn't contain 5 spoonfuls of sugar on top of it. I mean, Cocoa Puffs. I am cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and I am not a huge, like, I love chocolate, but when chocolate comes to ice cream or cereals, I'm not a huge fan of it. But Cocoa Puffs, there is just something about spooning that in, and then there is there's the milk that has that wonderful chocolate flavor to it. But even beyond that, there's the precipitate and the sediment that settles to the bottom of your bowl that turns into that yummy chocolate sludge that you finish out at the end of a box for you.
I love how passionate you are about this. This was the right decision to have you on this panel. So thank you, Michael. That's the only time I've ever heard sediment discussed as a positive for something. So well done.
I'm a science teacher. What can I do?
That's true. I'm going to put it to a vote. Kate, are you going to stick with Crispix?
I'm going to go down with the Crispix ship.
That's fine. Did she sway anyone to changing their votes? Dan?
No.
Oh, no. Cocoa Puffs all the way.
Yeah, no, she's going to be on a lot of sinking ships this episode.
I am. Well, which is why I'm choosing which ships to really like bolster up.
Smart. You're being pickier than Cap'n Crunch, who apparently sail on anything according to the number of varieties.
Very true.
Very true. So Cocoa Puffs advances to round 2. Sorry, Crispix. Next, we're going to visit the Great Plains. We were evenly split on the unflavored versions of 2 core cereals, 3-Seed Cheerios and 6-Seed Life. Dan, why Cheerios?
Listen, Cheerios is one of those cereals that you know exactly what you're getting. It's kind of plain. Again, it probably needs a little bit of sugar added in, but it's been around forever. It's been around since the 40s. And like everyone kind of likes Cheerios a little bit. If it's there, you're like, well, I gotta have Cheerios because there's nothing else available. And, it's just one of those super recognizable cereals. It's like a little bit of comfort in the bowl.
I can see that. And it's also, I think, personally, one of the reasons it's so popular is that it's such a good baby food. Like every mom is giving their child regular Cheerios.
I've never seen a kid not eat Cheerios. And by not eat them, I mean spread them all over the floor because children are a mess.
They are. Disasters. I will defend my Life. I actually genuinely love Life cereal, regular Life and Cinnamon Life and even some of the other ones. But I think Life's delicious. I ate it as a kid. I eat it now. I don't know why it's called Life. It seems kind of bizarre that
it's called Life, so that this whole conversation is very funny.
That's Life. That's right. But to me, you were saying that with Cheerios, you're dealing with something that's plain and you eat it because it's there. Like I will actively seek out and buy a box of Life because I enjoy it. Will I need to put in fresh strawberries or something? Yes. I'll do the same with Cheerios, but Life is going to be better because it is plain, but it still has a little bit of sweetness to it. It has that crunch to it, sometimes a little bit sharp. But to me, Life cereal, even just regular Life, just act like actual Life, it can be sharp. It can be unpleasant at times, but I'm embracing it. I'm embracing it for all that it is. So that's why I'm staying with Life. We were split on this one. So where are you now, Michael?
Oh, I might be Mikey and I might like it, but I am not going to pick Life over Cheerios. Cheerios is by far a better option for us. Now, if we were to put some of the varietals up against each other, I might go in a different way, but Cheerios versus Life, it is Cheerios. Cheerios is like as American as the red, white, and blue and American apple pie.
And I hate America, so that's why I'm
We know.
But I would counter the argument that I would vote for numerous varietals of Cheerios over regular Cheerios. I think Honey Nut, Apple Cinnamon.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, I was saying if you put like varietals of Cheerios up against varietals of Life, it might be a different story. But the standard bearer for both of them, Cheerios over Life, without a doubt.
Kate, where do you come in on this?
I am hardcore on Life. I literally just ate a bowl of Life before I got on this podcast. It's in my kitchen right now. And also, like, how, like, you eat it because it's there. Cheerios is the most basic ass cereal. Like, it is. I cannot
Big ass.
abide. I cannot abide regular Cheerios. My grandmother, bless her, sweetest woman, used to eat Cheerios only with blueberries and not heavy cream, half and half. That is the only way to make Cheerios palatable. So yes, life.
Dan,
life or get the fuck out.
Look at your life, literally and figuratively. Look at your choices. Kate Rakulia just called your pick bland. So I really think
it's a plain cereal. There's no getting around it. It's oats. It's round.
She basic.
She basic.
She is basic. Okay.
So when we come to a tie, this is how it works. And this is controversial. It can either go by the seed or it can go by the fact that I'm the host and I get 2 votes. And in this case, I win because it's me. So life is advancing.
Eric, life finds a way.
Life finds a way.
Wow.
As Naomi Smalls taught us in All Stars 4, life's not fair. So life moves on to round 2.
That was the right choice. Thank you, Eric.
It was the right choice. 3/4 of us were sweet on 1 seed Frosted Flakes, but Kate was stuck on 8 seed Rice Rice Chex. Kate, why Rice Chex?
Can you make Chex Mix with what's the other thing? Sorry.
Other thing?
You cannot make a seminal. That word always sounds wrong to me. You cannot make a seminal mid-century party snack with Frosted Flakes. So immediately, Rice Chex already, like, it has 2 things going for it. Oh, I see Michael has some things he wants to say. Not yet, Michael. And it is like, I mean, it's not Wheat Chex. Wheat Chex is just like straight up garbage. But Rice Chex is the Rice Krispie done one better. It has more heft. It takes the milk in nicely, and it's just a nice bowl. It's a nice bowl.
All right, so Dan is technically supposed to be defending this one, but if Mike, you're sure?
I'm sure.
On this one? All right, so Dan, why Frosted Flakes?
Listen, Rice Chex, it's going to be a bowl of mush about a minute and a half in. So
Not even. Like 30 seconds.
You get it near the milk and it's already soggy.
Exactly.
So
You say that like it's a bad thing.
oh God. Frosted Flakes. Listen, you got Tony the Tiger, voiced by Thurl Ravenscroft for 50 years. And
Is that true?
That is true.
I did not know that.
Yes. Thurl Ravenscroft was the voice of Tony the Tiger, also sang the Grinch song.
Yes.
So, listen, Tony is one of the top contenders for cereal mascots. Also, it's sugar-coated cornflakes. Like, cornflakes are bland, but you add sugar to it, and listen, it's just a delight in the morning. Nothing like heading off to school wound up high on sugar. And listen, I guess, except for Kate, it was a childhood staple. But listen, you can't argue that it's been one of the top-selling cereals of all time for decades, and they're just kind of timeless, and literally, they're great.
They're great. It's a solid argument, Kate. I do think that it's interesting that Kate's primary argument was you cannot take this product, which is terrible on its own, and make a different product that is not a breakfast food without it.
It's great when you mix it with pretzels and rye chips and a lot of salt. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Then bake it, and then it's okay.
Then it's better than okay, my friend.
It's better than bad. It's good. And I feel like Dan's argument, meanwhile, I know this sounds kind of, it's like I'm being hypocritical, but Dan's argument that the voice of Tony the Tiger is oddly sensual, it sells me. So, Kate, you're sticking with Rice Chex.
You know what? I'm not, because honestly, I'm just here to make your arguments interesting, friends. I am helpless before a burly tiger, so.
Listen, he's Tony the Tiger.
The true Tiger King, Tony. All right, so we're moving Frosted Flakes on to round 2. A recurring theme, 3/4 of us went for the sugary options, 2-seed Golden Graham, while Kate had bland ambition by championing 7-seed cornflakes. Kate, who hurt you?
No one. I did put sugar on my cornflakes, but I guess it's another argument, right? Cornflakes are so versatile. You can put them around ice cream and fry it. You can put them on top of potato salad. Wait, no, that's potato chips. No, never mind. You can't do that.
I am beside myself over here.
I just if push comes to shove, so it's cornflakes versus what? Golden Grahams?
Golden Grahams.
I am always going to choose cornflakes. And there are people like me in the world.
There are, and I will say that cornflake cookies are the shit. I don't know if anybody else used to eat those.
Yeah.
Michael has some thoughts, and so I'm going to hand them over to Michael.
I'm sorry. I kept my mouth shut last time, but I let Dan take it. But I wanted to say that I truly appreciate you, Kate, in the fact that all of your arguments for these cereals is because they get used as something other than cereal. Because nobody wants to eat these for breakfast in the morning. You have to put them in Chex Mix. And let me tell you, I swear my grandmother, who lived to be 92 years old, I looked forward to her Chex Mix every Christmas when she would bring that down to us and everything like that. But it wasn't for breakfast.
I have my grandmother's ceremonial Chex Mix pan.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. We all had that. But when it comes to it, Golden Grahams is going to be hands down, because in my universe goes Frosted Flakes, which I had for breakfast this morning. Then it goes Golden Grahams, which I have a box in the cupboard of that as well. Okay.
It's fair. It's a fair argument. And honestly, are you ready for the most shocking thing of all?
Oh, boy.
I don't think I've ever eaten Golden Grahams.
What?
Golden Grahams are legitimately delicious. They're so good. Tasty.
But has the window passed? My palate. We know what my palate is.
No.
I swear to God, when you come down and visit, we're going to do this whole Clockwork Orange thing. We're going to put you down and we're just going to feed you cereal.
We need to find out. I know that Rochester actually has a cereal bar where you can go and eat breakfast cereals, and I think play video games and buy comic books.
Yep.
Shout out to Rochester, by the way. Dan is living in Rochester currently. But we'll have to see if they have that in New York as well. I don't know. I assume they do someplace, but
I imagine oftentimes that heaven is just like a dorm, it's like that counter in your dorm that just had all the cereals and a giant thing of milk, and you can just keep going up to it and trying things and mixing them together. Maybe I did eat Golden Grahams and I didn't even know. We've gotten off topic anyway.
That's okay.
Anyhow.
It sounds as though, so Kate, are you going to stick with cornflakes?
Nah, it's fine. No, I am. I'm going to represent for that classic green rooster on the box. It is good graphic design.
It is good graphic design. And again, cornflake cookies are delicious. My mom has a great recipe if you've never had them. I'll post that to the website so that you can make them. They are so tasty.
Also, immortal Tori Amos song, Cornflake.
Oh, right.
Which we wouldn't have without cornflakes.
She's turning the party, folks. She's making me think that maybe I should switch, but I'm not going to because I love Golden Grahams that much. I do. I love Golden Grahams.
No kidding.
Love them. So, all right, Golden Grahams advances to round 2. My 3 panelists all voted to advance 5-seed Trix over 4-seed Cap'n Crunch. I will speak on behalf of the good captain. So, here's my thing. Cap'n Crunch is not one of my go-tos. It does tear up the roof of your mouth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It is sweet. It is an intense bite in the morning. Unlike the other cereals, it doesn't really get fully soggy. It's always that toothsome, I'm eating gravel. But I think Trix are disgusting. I have never liked Trix.
Whoa.
It's true. They taste burnt to me. They don't taste like fruit. They're pretty to look at, but they're not even that pretty. They're dulled colors. I've never understood the allure aside from that rabbit and the great slogan. But to me, if I had to you put a gun to my head and say pick one of these terrible cereals, I'm going with Cap'n Crunch. Dan, why Trix?
Oh man. That's intense. Trix are for kids, and I won't hear anything else about on the topic. But they have been a staple since the 50s in the breakfast cereal lineup. Fruit flavoring, that is debatable. I feel like the flavoring is more red, orange, and green, but they always taste the same. They're reliable, and you got to give credit to General Mills for cutting up the use of artificial flavoring and coloring in their cereal until they brought back the original artificial flavoring and coloring 2 years later. But they did it for a little while.
Did they? I did not know this.
They did for about 2 years.
I really appreciate the knowledge that you're dropping on us here, Dan.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wikipedia is wonderful.
It is insane. But yeah, Trix is just, it's one of those that, I don't know. I always loved it. Like, I never thought of it as being a dull cereal. It was... Listen, the rabbit's great. There was always a prize inside. It was super colorful. And I don't know. It's just, maybe it's the nostalgia factor, but...
My last ditch argument is going to be in the multitude of fruit-flavored cereals out there. I would put Trix absolutely on the bottom for me. Like, Fruity Pebbles are way better. I think Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries are way better. There's got to be other examples I'm forgetting. But I'm going to put it to the panel. Michael, are you sticking with Trix?
I turn Trix and I eat Trix.
That's the way I like to live. And how about you, Kate?
Oh, Trix are for me.
Okay. So,
Not
sorry,
really.
Captain
They're not my
Crunch.
favorite either, but I like them better than Captain Crunch.
Fair.
They don't cause
Oh my
me
God,
pain.
Kate picked something with sugar.
She did.
Yeah, this is a big deal.
It is a
It
big
is.
deal. It is. Life has sugar. I would have picked Life.
God.
Choose life, just like Wham.
Yes. More life.
All right. My 3 panelists also voted to advance 4-seed Corn Pops, while I picked 5-seed Kix. I will justify my choice with a very obscure reasoning, while Michael will speak on Corn Pops. Michael, I'm going to let you go first.
Well, I mean, the original name, of course, was Sugar Corn Pops. And, when people started figuring out that sugar really wasn't great for you, they started dropping that in the late 70s and early 80s. But it is still just like, I think it's more flavor for me. It's more flavorful. It has a better, consistency in the milk for you. I think it stays longer than Kix did. And I mean, honestly, Kix doesn't hold a memory in my head at all. I remember kind of hearing about it, but I can't tell you if I probably did, but I don't remember actually eating it as a kid. It's just yeah.
This is the completely obscure rationalization I have for this. And let me say, before I even go into this, I understand why this is not going to advance. And it's not even a good argument, but I'm going to make it. So I had a childhood friend who, whenever I would go over to his house, he had empty Pringles cans and had filled them with 2/3 of Kix and 1/3 chocolate chips. And then he would shake them and that would be our snack. And I thought that was the best stuff ever. We didn't eat it with milk. It was literally just Kix and chocolate chips that were put into an empty Pringles can and we would shake them and eat them. And it's again, nostalgia factor for me, a totally obscure, weird thing. But that's why I'm voting for Kix over Corn Pops, because I never ate Corn Pops. It was not one of the ones that ever really was on our radar. Just we picked other things.
I get that. It's the Kate argument. It's really good as something other than cereal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly right.
Yep.
Exactly right.
Yep.
So it's a bad argument, and I acknowledge this. I'm assuming
is it though? Is it a bad argument? Is it?
Oh, don't tell me you swung Kate.
Oh, no. No, Corn Pops are one of the few sugary cereals I legitimately enjoy. Yes. I like them.
So with that in mind, we're going to advance Corn Pops.
Corn Pops.
Dan?
Yeah,
Okay.
Corn Pops
Pop
for
the
sure.
corn.
Corn Pops
Feed the
moving
children.
on. Feed the churns, exactly. And finally, 3/4 of us preferred 6-seed Cinnamon Life over 3-seed Reese's Peanut Butter Puffs. Dan, why Peanut Butter Puffs? And before I say this, I do need to make the point. Dan is my virtual physical trainer, and it just delights me that my trainer is pushing for the sugary cereal. So I feel a sense of vindication in this moment, and I just need to bask in it. But please go on, Dan.
I really am. Yes, as a fitness professional, this really does go against a lot of what I tell people. But I also love sugary cereal, so pick your battles. So I think what I love about Reese's Peanut Butter Puffs is that clearly at some point in the 90s, someone was like, let's just legitimately serve candy for breakfast.
Yes.
We're not even going to pretend it's anything else. And that was their tagline. It's candy for breakfast was their original tagline, which kind of blew my mind. And, they own it. They're just, when I was trying to do some research on the peanut butter puffs, because they came out when I was in high school. So I didn't have them all that much because I was already deep in my nostalgia for all my other cereals. But they are listed as the most unhealthy cereal according to a study from Oxford University. So they got that in their corner. I know, this one's a long shot. PB Puffs are a long shot.
Exactly. I will say that I suspect that particular study is now outdated because in the last year, Hershey's Kisses, the breakfast cereal, came into existence. Twinkies, the breakfast cereal, came into existence.
Really?
Yep.
Oh,
Yes,
I've seen
it's
that.
real. Like there's an entire line of Hostess snack cake cereals.
Oh, God.
And like putting together the list for this, I was like, this is disgusting. Like,
That's insane. That's insane.
yeah, exactly.
God, I even feel like I need to work out now.
Exactly. Speaking that into existence gave me diabetes. But Kate, why don't you talk to me about Cinnamon Life?
So this was actually a hard one for me because both of these cereals are completely disgusting. And honestly, I say this as a person who like I am not a functional like human body unless around Christmas time and Easter I get one of those like packages of Reese's like eggs or Christmas trees that I eat all by myself. Like I just need that. It's like a vitamin deficiency. So I love Reese's peanut butter, but not in my cereal. But Cinnamon Life, I mean, it's the same thing. It's life, right? So it was the lesser of two evils in a way. What's the opposite of a Sophie's Choice, right? Where like you have to keep one.
You're just getting rid of both of them? The Andrew's mom. That's the opposite of a Sophie's Choice.
So that's why I chose Cinnamon Life. But actually, I mean, I am doing some like research in the moment because like, you know, homework. It actually is as old as 1978. Which in my mind, I had no idea. It's been around my entire life. No idea.
It has definitely been around since the 80s. I distinctly remember eating it with the yellow box. Regular Life was in the white box.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the thing about Cinnamon Life, like I'll pick up the torch from Kate because she's not doing a good job defending it.
It's a sugar deficiency.
Right? I think Cinnamon Life is delicious. Like I prefer Cinnamon Life. I to this day will go to the store and I will buy a box of Cinnamon Life. Like it's a staple in my cupboard. And again, I'll throw some berries or whatever in it. But like I think Cinnamon Life on its own is really, really tasty. And I don't find it to be overly sweet. Am I crazy?
Yes, but that's separate.
I think that my life, I am just like my mouth is used to regular life. So all the different kinds of life.
So I can't have that. My mouth isn't used to it.
And I can't say what my mouth is used to in a family program. So
No, it's not.
I was gonna say, is it? That was not my impression.
it's not. But what were you saying, Kate? I'm sorry.
There's just so many different kinds of life, which maybe I'll save that for a future argument. Wait for that. I'm holding on to
I
that.
will.
I'm putting it in my pocket.
But it does sound like we are going to advance Cinnamon Life, right? I mean, Michael, where do you stand on this?
Mikey likes it.
Mikey likes it, yeah. So, sorry, Dan. We are advancing Cinnamon Life.
I get it.
All right. So we have reached the bottom of the bowl for round one. Do you agree with our picks or are you lactose intolerant of our choices? Tell us what you think at greatpopculturedebate.com. And while you're there, make sure to suggest future topics for us to debate and vote on topics that have already been submitted. Then come back later this week for part 2, where we go from the Sweet 16, and in this case, I literally mean Sweet 16, all the way down to our pick for the best breakfast cereal ever. See you in a bit.